Tired of dealing with annoying flies, fruit flies, and gnats in your home? The Zevo Flying Insect Trap is your ultimate solution. Don't wait. Check out the link in the video description now to get your Zevo Flying Insect Trap on Amazon and enjoy a bug-free home today.
The honeymoon phase is over as voters are quickly losing faith in Kamala Harris's chances at beating out Donald Trump in the upcoming presidential election. Nearly a third of voters believe Harris is much less qualified than other potential nominees to be the Democratic presidential candidate, according to new polling by our channel. Our channel's survey of 1,000 people, conducted by Talker Research, revealed that only a quarter of Americans feel that Harris is much more qualified than other candidates to be the party nominee. While 29% of the surveyed group believe that she's much less qualified, feelings were split across party lines as only 15% of Republicans believe that Harris is more qualified to be the candidate compared to other potential nominees. However, no other Democratic Party candidates have stepped forward to challenge Harris's bid. Over a third of respondents think it's very unlikely that Harris can beat out former President Trump, while only 26% think that she is very likely to overtake him. This skepticism marks the end of Harris's honeymoon phase with voters, which saw her raise over $200 million in the first week after it was announced she would run for president in place of President Joe Biden when he dropped out of the race on July 21. Trump campaign Tony Fabrizio branded the Harris honeymoon when he warned campaign staffers about the VP taking the lead in the polls after it was announced that she'd be joining the race. The honeymoon will be a manifestation of the wall-to-wall coverage Harris receives from the mainstream media, he wrote to staff in a memo, according to Newsweek. Fabrizio said the bump from media coverage would energize Democrats, but that it would drop again once the race settles back down. Before long, Harris's honeymoon will end and voters will refocus on her role as Biden's partner and co-pilot, Fabrizio wrote. The honeymoon phase seems to be continuing for some voters in the polls, despite doubts about Harris's qualifications and her chances at winning. Now that Biden has withdrawn from the election, the poll revealed that 45% of Americans are planning to vote for Trump, while Harris beating him by a hair with 46% of respondents planning to vote for her. While over three-quarters, 77%, of Democrats think that Harris can defeat Trump, only 14% of Republicans think it's possible. Overall, a slightly larger amount of Americans have a positive view of Harris than a negative one, the polling numbers report. The survey also showed that while only 10% of Republicans have a positive view of the VP, third-party members have a more positive than negative view. Biden tapped Harris to take his spot almost immediately after stepping down following weeks of backlash over his disastrous performance in the first debate of the season against Trump on June 27, and attempted assassination of a former U.S. president, the standing down of a current president, and a political speech by a former wrestler. Senior news reporter Anthony Blair looks back on a crazy 10 days in American politics. His resignation came as over 30 Democrat leaders had publicly called for him to step down, starting with Texas Representative Lloyd Doggett telling Biden to withdraw on July 2. A group of at least 50 moderate Capitol Hill Democrats then held a concerning Zoom call with Biden where they expressed worries about his ability to continue in the race, just hours before the July 13 assassination attempt on Trump. After maintaining a full-speed-ahead effort throughout his campaign, Biden told a senior member of his team about his decision to suspend his campaign just 1 minute before news of his exit broke on July 21. He then wrote on X that he would endorse Harris, his running mate, as the Democrat nominee. But we couldn't be more excited for her, or more thrilled to endorse Kamala Harris as the Democratic nominee for President of the United States. Harris graciously accepted the endorsement in a separate statement and promised to earn the nomination, praising Biden's tenure as president. The presidential hopeful secured 2,668 delegates just a day after Biden's withdrawal. She raised a record $81 million in donations in the first 24 hours of her campaign. She also inherited some $91 million in leftover campaign funds from Biden. The Democrats will officially nominate the party's candidate at the Democratic National Convent.